Hey everybody, I'm Amber. Welcome to my channel. Today I am giving you a 20-week pregnancy update. So I'm currently 20 weeks and I think like 6 days. So I'm actually closer to 21 weeks, but I did not have time to film this earlier this week. So here we are, last minute, doing a 20-week update. I am finally starting to enjoy pregnancy a little bit more than I was in the first trimester. So one of the 2 apps that I use, this one is Ava, and it just gives like a little bit more of a brief description. It says that at 20 weeks, your baby's senses continue to develop. They'll start reacting more like the baby you've imagined. For example, they will cover their ears with their hands if they hear a loud noise, and they might actually become startled and react with a movement that feels kind of like a jump. They're growing accustomed to noises such as your heartbeat and your blood flowing inside of the womb. It's fairly noisy, which is why white noise is often soothing once your baby is born. They're continuing to move around, and because of the growth, you'll feel a lot more of those kicks, punches, twists, and turns. Your baby also continues to swallow amniotic fluid, which is preparing their digestive system for after birth. If your baby's a boy, the testicles are starting to descend, and now that the bones are hardening, red blood cells are starting to be made by the bone marrow. I think those are always cool to read just to see what's going on with baby inside. But this week we had our anatomy scan, which was so exciting because the last time that I had an ultrasound, I was just 8 weeks and the baby looked like a kidney bean. Like, it didn't even look like a baby. So it was super, super cool to see. I guess even though they're like the size of a grapefruit right now, which is still pretty small, but it was so cool to see them actually looking like a little tiny human. So I'll show you a couple pictures really quick. Okay, so here is one, and that's like a good like profile picture. We actually got one where it looked like the baby was looking straight at us, and the ultrasound tech explained that their eyes aren't necessarily open, that sometimes just like the way that either the light or the sound waves, I'm guessing the sound waves, like bounce off of their eyelids can make it look like they're just like, you know, so it actually is kind of creepy. I'm not gonna show that one. It's like, it's cute, but it's a little bit weird at the same time. This one I thought was adorable. She got a picture of the baby playing with their toes, and it's so cute. Hopefully you can tell. She labeled the hand and the foot. I think that one is just so adorable. So that was super cool. I loved our ultrasound tech. Her name was Connie. She was so nice. And I thought that the first ultrasound tech we had was pretty good, but now that I had this one, I'm actually a little bit disappointed with the first tech. Like, she was kind of like rough, and I don't know. This tech was just like so personal. Like, she was telling me about one of her positive birth stories, and oh, here comes June. And she just, I don't know, she was just so nice. Like, she made it such a good experience. And I know that the techs, they're not really supposed to tell you anything, but I feel like she was kind of like doing her best to reassure me that everything was looking okay. So far, we actually have not got the results back yet. I'm waiting for my midwife to give us a call, but I do have like a pretty overwhelming sense of peace. Like, I'm not worried, and honestly, like, even if something was less than ideal, it wouldn't change anything for me. So I'm gonna move June. Okay. But the ultrasound tech did let me know that baby is measuring like pretty on point for the due date that we have, which is June 18th. And of course she said, you know, give or take like a few days, it is just a guesstimate, but she said that the measurements are like pretty, I don't know, correct for that date, We also found out that I have an anterior placenta, which is interesting because I've been feeling subtle movements for quite a while now. And definitely now at this point, we have like active days, and then there are days where I don't feel a ton. But I'm surprised that I actually felt as much as I did early on, knowing that the placenta is in the front. So the placenta is in between the baby and my belly. So hopefully that ends up being a good thing. I've heard some other mamas say that around this time, like the little kicks and punches actually start to hurt them. And I haven't experienced that. I definitely can feel them, but it never hurts. So hopefully that's due to the placenta like providing a little extra cushion. We also decided officially at this anatomy scan not to find out the gender. We planned on doing that anyway, but of course this was like the first chance where someone yeah, that's a baby June. June's looking at the ultrasound pictures. But anyway, this was the first time that someone would have been able to tell us right then and there if it's a boy or a girl. And she did ask us if we wanted to know, and we said no. She was great. She told us to like look away a couple of times. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the birth, just to like see what it is, what baby is. And I genuinely, like, I will be happy with a boy or a girl. A lot of people have asked me how I don't feel like antsy about not knowing, but I really think it's because I truly do not care. I think I'll be more anxious to find out what the second baby is if we have more kids, which God willing we do. So some of the symptoms that I've been experiencing this week are that I'm still occasionally getting sick. I actually ended up getting sick in the car right after we had the ultrasound. Thank goodness I did have a plastic bag with me, because I've been a little bit lazy about carrying a plastic bag since I haven't been getting sick every single day. And I actually got sick last night. I just like woke up in the middle of the night. I went pee, had some water, and then like 5 minutes later I ran to the bathroom and I got sick. So that's still happening, so that's really fun. Just kidding. I also noticed that my belly is really starting to pop now. Like in the beginning of the second trimester, it kind of just looked a little bit more like I was bloated, but I think now in the last like 2 weeks or so, it definitely looks like I'm pregnant, and it's getting a little bit harder to bend over. I can still bend over, but like if I'm shaving my legs or putting lotion on my legs or something, I have to move my leg over to the side. Like it can't be directly in front of me, or else it hits my belly, and you know, that's not comfortable. So definitely it's really starting to show now. I've also been experiencing bloating. That's actually been pretty consistent throughout the entire pregnancy, but in the first trimester and even the beginning of the second trimester, it wasn't super uncomfortable. Like it just felt like normal bloating that you'd get like at the end of the day or after a big meal. But now it is kind of uncomfortable because my belly already is growing and stretching, and then at night on top of that I feel bloated. So that's usually when I start to feel like pretty uncomfortable. So I'm a little bit nervous for how I'm going to be feeling in the third trimester, because from my understanding, bloating is pretty normal just to have like your entire pregnancy. And it's something that I think a lot of people don't know about, because you don't look bloated because you just have a belly anyway. So like if I would have seen someone in their third trimester in the past, I would have never thought like, oh, they're bloated also, because you know, they're gonna have a belly no matter what. But the bloating definitely causes some discomfort. As far as cravings go, I haven't really had a ton of cravings throughout this pregnancy, but in the last like week and a half, I've really been loving heirloom tomatoes, and all I do is like slice them up, and I usually just have like a half of one because they're pretty big. But I just have a half, I slice it up, and then I drizzle a little bit of olive oil and then sprinkle it with like flaky sea salt. And that is just, oh my gosh, it is so good. And sliced tomatoes is something that I liked pre-pregnancy with like some salt and pepper, but right now they have to be heirloom tomatoes. I don't know why, but they have to be heirloom tomatoes, and they cannot have pepper on them. That's the only thing. But it's so good. I'm pretty sure this is something I'm gonna continue post-pregnancy just because I love it, and it's a healthy snack, so why not? Another symptom I think is round ligament pain. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it is because this is my first pregnancy and I haven't had a chance to talk to my midwife about it, but it's like a sudden sharp pain, like usually on the sides of my pelvis or sometimes just like in my lower abdomen. And sometimes it's like when I get up or like especially when I sneeze. But there are times where I'll just be sitting there and I'll get like a couple like sudden stabs and then it'll go away. So I think that's round ligament pain. And from my understanding, it's just caused by the ligaments like in your belly and lower abdomen stretching to accommodate growing baby. But I also occasionally get more like a dull, achy cramp in my lower abdomen. And I don't know if that's round ligament pain. I don't know what that is, but that's something that on and off I've been experiencing. Something that I've not experienced, and I'm actually surprised about this, is back pain, because I had chronic back pain for like a couple of years. And this was like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even remember exactly now. But anyway, I had chronic back pain for a couple of years and no one could tell me why it was happening or what was causing it. And so I was really afraid, even as the back pain started to subside. And it's not because of anything that any doctor told me. I just started making life changes to try to, I guess, better support my back, you know, like just trying to focus on like better posture, and especially like when I was working out and things like that, like really trying to focus on good form rather than just like pushing myself to the max. And after a while, it started to just like little by little go away until I like didn't have back pain anymore. Or like if I did, it was kind of just like any other person, you know, like if you like sit slumped over all day, your back might hurt a little bit the next day, but then it goes away. But even after I didn't have chronic back pain anymore, I still was afraid that if and when I got pregnant, that it would come back like really, really quickly just because of the added weight. But here we are halfway through pregnancy. I'm sure that at some point my back is probably going to start to bother me, but I'm surprised pleasantly that it's not already happening. So I hope that continues. But right now I'm really happy that I don't have the achy back because I do not need to go back to that. And the last thing is not a symptom. It's just something I purchased last week. So this was actually 19 weeks. And that is a pregnancy pillow. I finally decided to go ahead and get one. I have not used it at all because usually Alex, my husband, and I, we actually do cuddle, not all night, but we do cuddle like for quite a bit of the night. And I usually just like put my leg on him so he kind of acts as my pregnancy pillow throughout the night. But I have it just in case. I'm sure at some point I might need to use it because, you know, it might not be fair to just use him for the whole pregnancy, but I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. So this is it. It's like a U shape. It's definitely not the nicest one. I just got it on Amazon and I'll link it down in the description box if anyone else wants to check it out. Like I said, not the nicest one. I think it was like $40. So if you wanted one that really offered more support, this probably is not it. But I think it'll get the job done for me. I like that it has a removable cover so that you can easily wash it. It comes with this also. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but I guess if you need like a little extra support or if you wanted to use it as a pillow or something, this could provide that. So the thing that I loved the most about this one though is that it will double as like a boppy pillow once baby is born. It does have this little like peg and loop that you can secure the ends together. I don't know that I would use that unless I was going to use the pillow like this to lay on, like this. But honestly, like it's pretty moldable. Like it stays in place. If you put it around you like this, it's going to stay, and then you can put baby right here. So that was what I really, really loved about this pillow. Like I didn't want to get a gigantic pregnancy pillow because for me personally, I try to subscribe to like a more simplistic, minimal lifestyle. So if I can get items that have dual usage, that's like the best thing for me. Personally, I didn't want to get this huge, gigantic pregnancy pillow. I'm sure they're great and I'm sure they're nice, but then post-pregnancy, it has almost no use until I am pregnant again, and then I have to find somewhere to put it. So I really like that this one will be probably well used for a good while. The last thing then is I will show you guys a bump shot. Okay, so this is the bump at 20 weeks, almost 21 weeks. I'm wearing my stretchy maternity jeans. It's definitely getting like firmer, like it's not very squishy anymore. This is the front. You might be able to see the little line right there. So that is what we got. All right, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more pregnancy videos and to follow along on this pregnancy journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.